Hmm. Well, we don't have any green mana. We do have double abominations, so we can at least play morphs. But admittedly, this hand could pose some issues. Could just rip a green mana, but then we still need to find black mana to eventually unmorph these abominations. How many cheap blue spells we have? We have Embodiment, Whisk Away, Wind Scout. Well, we're on the draw, I presume, right? Right? Someone told me it's supposed to be, yeah, like the light gray means they're playing, or they have the choice, and they decide the kit if they keep or draw. So, jeez, bit sketchy of a keep, but I think I am going to keep it. Definitely dangerous, I admit, but we have double crippling chill. We get to play some morph if the horror scenario happens. We could just rip green mana. I don't know. It's questionable, I admit. I'm just not really interested in mulliganing, and oh, I did draw a crippling chill. That's good. That's more potential ways to draw into a green mana. All right, Jeskai, it would appear, which is fine. All right, black mana, off to a decent start there. Now we're just one of 7 resources away from having all of our lands, so not too bad. Morph? Yes. I probably am willing to go morph for morph here, since we have double abomination. Aerialist, fine draw. If we can make it to the late game, it should be a pretty powerhouse for us. All right, make the trade here. Warby Myth for an abomination. Well, he probably got a slightly better trade off of that, but we have such a good late game plan, plus we have use of Delve that I don't mind so much. Skuldkin. Well, that card's not that big of a deal, so we'll accept that. There's our green mana. Very good. All right. So we can play Sultai Ascendancy here, which isn't bad. But I kind of want to get our Abomination down. Why is it I never find a good opportunity to play Sultai Ascendancy? It's always my issue with this card. It's because we already have good stuff to do, though, so it's not like a bad problem to have, to be honest. So I think we just play our Morph and pass. And next turn I can either play the Crew Shock or leave up my Morph mana. I think I probably just leave up Morph. Alright. I guess that could be a Weapon Master. Ooh, Surveyor. Well, we can find out what it is. That's pretty nice. Why don't we tempo him a bit here? Because I am curious what that Morph guy is, so why don't we find out? See if it's a Weaponsmith. Weapon Master, rather. Was in fact a Weapon Master. So if I had blocked his Skuldkin with my Abomination, he would have been able to unmorph, get in for 4 first strike damage, and trade with my dude. So I'm actually kind of happy that I bounced that guy, so I have that information now. Granted, he can still play it and get some value, but I'm a little less concerned at this point. Yeah, I can make the trade, actually. It makes his Weapon Master worse, and I would say that Surveyor already did its job, so I'm satisfied with that. All right, Wind Scout it is. Let's see if we get a land here, and we do. All right, so Aerialist is certainly the plan. Just going to get in with our Abomination for now. He takes it, we drop Aerialist, and pass. So now I guess he can hardcast Weapon Master and get in for 5, and I will not block. Alright. I'm guessing a Weapon Master. I think that's a fairly safe assumption. So during his combat step, I think we're going to... Oh, is he going to force away? He could. Tormenting Voice. Alright. Much more underwhelming, I would say. Turn target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battle, or not battlefield, must be hand, yeah. That would make more sense. So I guess the game plan is swing with both, and then we're going to Crippling Chill his Weapon Master on his turn. So we can even cast the Crippling, or the Sultai Ascendancy, believe it or not. So we'll play the Backwater, we play our Ascendancy to prowess up our dude. Oh, but then I can't. Well, I have to play the Ascendancy post-combat, otherwise he can successfully block my Morph. So we'll just get in with both. He doesn't block. Now we have to drop Ascendancy. This is a bit awkward, but it still works out pretty well for us. What else could we? We could actually cast Crew Shock here, and that sets us up even further ahead, because he has to pay the 5 mana to get in for 4 plus... He could get in for 9, but then we have lethal on Crackback. So I don't think... I think it's actually better to play the Crew Shock. So 5 mana. He could have a bounce spell plus Unmorph. But if he wants to try and race us, I think we're in a decent racing position here. Yeah. So take the Wind Scout. Horde Chief, alright. It's pretty acceptable. Currently does not have the mana to Unmorph. Treasure Cruise. Well, Treasure Cruise is good. No doubt about it. Let's see here. So I can Ascendancy plus chill. I could actually chill his warrior, which would force him to block with his Horde Chief. Yeah, it's pretty good. Let's Ascendancy. Well, let's see. I've got... Well, tough spot again. Well, guess not really. I force him to block with his Horde Chief. I draw a card. Could draw a land. Why don't we Crippling Chill first? So I do want to tap down this warrior. Main reason being, well, yeah, because then it forces him to either block the Crew Shock or die. So this seems strange, but I think it is actually correct. So we go like this, tap down the warrior, prowess. And we did get the land, which means we can play the land and unmorph our Abomination. Yeah, so this is actually the best. So this forces him to block with his Horde Chief. Ooh, I'd like to cast that eventually. Alright, so he's at 3. He has to deal with our 2 flyers. Even if he has a Trumpet Blast, he unmorphs. He does not have lethal. Trumpet Blast with this plus unmorph this is still not lethal by my count. 6 plus 6, 12 damage by my count if he unmorphs and Trumpet Blasts. Alright, Leaping Master as a means to defend is my guess. He has to give the Leaping Master flying, however, which means I don't think he's got which means he doesn't have enough mana to unmorph this Weapon Master. And he has to leave all of his stuff. So we have him in a pretty good position here. He's in a pretty tough spot, by my estimation. So we swing with team. He can't unmorph his guy or else he's just dead to flyers. So let's just swing team. Can't afford to take damage from either of our guys either. He has to do... He could have Kill Shot or something, but we have Whisk Away for if he's on the unmorph that dude plan. Could have Kill Shot, I guess, but accept it. Alright, Force Away on that. So he only has 4 mana left. Yeah, it's okay. Still in fine shape here. He has to give the Leaping Master flying. Makes sense. He'd rather trade the Leaping Master for the Abomination. But he still has to block the Feral Crew Shock, so... Oh, just Sky Charm. To put that on top of my library. Yeah, I guess that works. But we can whisk away his Wind Scout when he blocks, and that takes away his draw step as well. So, do I want to whisk away? How much mana do I have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we're going to whisk away his Wind Scout when he blocks. So he doesn't even get the trade. And then we get to replay our Aerialist. And we take away his draw step, so this works out pretty well for us. Currently has 8 mana, which is enough to play the Wind Scout and still unmorph the Weapon Master, but it's acceptable. Alright, decided to concede, so I will gladly accept that. Alright, so opponent is Jeskai. He looks fairly aggressive. He has some powerful spells. Jeskai, Charm, Horde Chief, Treasure Cruise, the Weapon Master, some good early beats, Force Away for good tempo plays. He looks like he's a powerful deck. It's a pretty reasonable chance he's got maybe a Trumpet Blast in there, something like that. Do I want the Force Away? Well, it's a reasonable question. Force Away is what? I guess guess it works better against the Weapon Master than, say, a Crippling Chill would, but I'm not sure if that's enough justification for me to want to make the swap. I guess Shifting Loyalty seems worse in this matchup. His guys seem more aggressive, which means Shifting Loyalties oftentimes is just going to cost me 6 mana and net me a weaker thing. That being said, he could still have the Sage of the Inward Eye that we ended up passing, which I would certainly like to take. But I may want more tempo-oriented cards just because us getting in the late game, I feel like our finishers are more powerful. So running the Force Away just sort of gives us some more flexibility against stuff like Weapon Master in combat situations. Like, for example, he pays the 5 mana, he unmorphs the Weapon Master, we Force Away whatever he pumps, or the creature itself potentially before blocking, if depending on how he orders things. If he orders the most intelligently, he will block first and then unmorph. But I feel like Force Away is going to do more for us this match than Shifting Loyalties will. If we in fact see a Sage of the Inward Eye, I'll debate bringing back Shifting Loyalties. But for now, let's just bring in another early game play and move to game 2. Yes, this hand is actually very good. We get to do Einok God, finding our swamp, and though it takes our draw step away, we will be fully fixed by turn 3 with a 1/1, which isn't that great, but actually blocks the Leaping Master, so it's not that bad. Then again, if we draw a swamp, then I guess I'll just get a bear out there. Or even if I draw a embodiment, for example, I would have maybe just gone with the bear form of Einok Guide as well, since it does take away your draw step. I mean, the Einok Guide is not exactly as good as you want it to be, but it's still, it's a pretty versatile card. So we'll play the guide, we'll find our swamp, be fully fixed, be ready to start delving and doing weird stuff. Weird and wild stuff. All right, let's get that guide out there. Find a swamp. And pass. So we're on point to cast Crippling Chills and Formless Nurturing, eventually building towards this Shambling Attendance, which should be good for us. No red source out of our opponent yet, which is nice. Morph spell, it's acceptable. So I could just Crippling Chill for the tempo play of it, but I'm debating whether I want to play it more patiently than that. I think it's still, I'd rather lock this down for 2 attack steps than lock it down now and get 1 damage in. I don't think that's all that worth it. So I think we are actually going to Crippling Chill, but we'll do it during his combat step. And then we get to play Formless Nurturing, potentially, I don't know, finding a... The only reason I'm playing Crippling Chill here is to make our Shambling Attendance cheaper, and it's basically free since it cantrips. Alright, Salt Road Patrol. That is, in fact, tolerable. So let's go ahead and, alright, Angler's not bad either. Let's drop this Formless Nurturing, see if we can't hit a fine creature off of it. That would be nice. Wouldn't mind hitting a land off of it either, but... Alright, land out of the way. Don't have to worry about drawing that. It also fuels our Shambling Attendance and Gurmag Angler, so got that going for us. Have a Will of the Naga and another Crippling Chill, so basically moving on point to Shambling Attendance and Gurmag Angler being good. Opponent finally found his mana. Alright, just outlasting, and let's see what else he does. Another morph? Alright. 3 cards left in our opponent's hand. We have Will of the Naga to potentially lock down 2 morphs, or basically anything we want. Riverwheel Aerialist, not too bad. Alright, so options. I can Gurmag Angler. The problem with Gurmag Angler is if he has a Force Away, which we know he's running, it's a pretty big tempo play for him. But then again, he can't unmorph, but I may just drop the Angler and not attack. That way, if he has Force Away, we still can lock down his morphs for now. Yeah, I guess that actually is the best play we have. I could actually wait for this Attendance, but having a 5/5 seems pretty good against his 4/3 first strike that we know about. So I could swing with the Manifest, but I think it's actually wiser to stay back. just in case he has the Force Away, we can block with our Manifest, and he doesn't really have a great attack. I guess he can swing with the Salt Road Patrol, but we'll accept that for the tempo. Basically, Force Away at this point would I can also block his morph. Well, you know what? I'm going to take it. We'll see what he does. If he does nothing, we have this Will of the Naga potentially if we draw a land. Otherwise, we have Crippling Chill, which is also good. Mardu Horde Chief. All right. Well, it's pretty good for him, too. So, is he a Trumpet Blast deck? The world may never know. And a Leaping Master. All right. He's getting pretty aggressive, but we're still in pretty good shape here. All right. Let's see here. Whisk Away. Not too bad. So, still just a little bit mana short of doing everything we want to do. So, I think the plan is stay back once again. Although, maybe it's time to Crippling Chill now. Crippling Chill, Salt Road Patrol, swing for 5, draw a land, and we can whisk away. Set up for Will of the Naga. Well, these are all options. Just spitballing here. Just spitballing. Let's lock down the Salt Road Patrol. I would like to hit my land here, so I think I'm going to go for that. Did not hit the land, unfortunately, so. The debate. I guess we wait. Our opponent has less cards in hand. We've got a good late game plan. We're just sort of playing an awkward defense at the moment. But just trying to buy some time, find some lands, get our fatties online. I think that'll do a lot of work for us. If he attacks with the Morph again, I guess at this point I just block with my Delve. If he bounces it, like I said, he doesn't have too sick of a tempo play. All right, well, if that's the best play he's got, I don't feel too terrible. Especially since he can't unmorph. All right, there's our 6th land. So I think I can comfortably... He doesn't have enough mana to... He does have Force Away mana. He can Force Away something end of turn. Yeah, I guess it's best to just cast Aerialist and pass at this point. So basically we're just continuing to build our board to a point where I'm just ahead on the board. Basically, I'm just trying to build better board state than my opponent so that I don't have to worry about tempo plays. If I can build up, because it does seem like my opponent with all of these creatures out is just trying to build to a nice tempo opportunity. So keeping my guys back, I think, is actually pretty good for us. All right, well, we're going to block with our... although I guess if he's got the... well, I was going to say, let me think about it. Well, let me think. If I do Angler and he has a Weapon Master, you can't kill the Angler. All right, let's do that. Could be like a Whisk Away or something, but might just be looking for a good raid opportunity. That would make sense. Another Horde Chief. So basically a net result of nothing at that point, which is fine. So let's see here. Drew the land. So we can cast Attendance. I also can cast Will of the Naga, which I feel like we're going to want. Why don't we just drop Attendance and pass? I know it seems strange still, but I really don't want to get tempoed out here. I feel as if that's what's he's like I said, he's still continuing to build his board state. We have plenty of blockers. Could unmorph plus barrage of boulders at some point for lethal, but I think this is the wisest play. This is basically we're trying to set up for a good tempo play on our end. All right, did have the Sage of the Inward Eye. Kind of expected since we passed that card and he is Jeskai, but not really in that bad of a spot here. I mean, we've got some work to do. We're going to be fighting a battle for a while here with all that lifelink, but it's really not that bad. All right, land, certainly not the most exciting, but let's play a Wind Scout and then pass. Our opponent only has one card left. Could actually swing with the Aerialist. But then I can't block his Sage of the Inward Eye on the way back. I can whisk away it, but I think we just continue to pass for now. I feel as if we have better top decks than our opponent does, but I guess that remains to be seen. Just outlasting. Okay, well, we've got whisk away for that eventually. I'd like one more creature. Well, that certainly qualifies. So let's see. We've got 8 mana, so I can hard cast this, but then I can't cast the other things. So I think I just morph this. Let's swing with Aerialist. And then we drop Abomination. And then we pass. So we get to unmorph that during his combat step or at the end of his turn, or when he attacks with the Sage of the Inward Eye, or we could whisk away it. So we've got some very good options at the moment. I would say since one of these is almost assuredly a Weapon Master, it's probably in our best interest to just whisk away the Sage of the Inward Eye. Two cards in hand. See if he's ready to get in with everything yet. I think we're just going to take it. Just taking it. Yes, I could block it, but because I'm almost positive one of those is a Weapon Master, I really think it's in our best interest to just play the safe game here. Ooh, Surveyor is very nice. Okay. So we can get in for 9 flying now. Plus bounce his Sage. Yeah, it's pretty good. See if he's got an untap effect. Oh, he's got a flock. Okay. And Leaping Master. Alright, so it looks like he wants to make a trade on our Wind Scout. So let's see if he blocks the Aerialist. No, he wisely blocks the one that will not die. So I could cast a couple spells here, but I don't really like the idea of it all that much. So I suppose we'll just allow these trades. We can drop Surveyor, bounce his Sage of the Inward Eye, and set up for a Will of the Naga play at some point for Flock and Sage. Yeah, that works. Let's keep his turn busy next turn. Basically, this just puts him out 5 mana. Not that devastating, but it keeps him... It's tempo play. I'm just trying to tempo him out a little bit here. Because with that Will of the Naga, plus Whisk Away. I think we're going to be able to lock him down pretty good. So I play 2 spells. I get in for 6, 9, 11, which is pretty close to lethal. He does not have mana to unmorph a Weapon Master, something certainly worthy of keeping in mind. So let's Will of the Naga. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have played that land. Well, no, actually it doesn't matter. Let's just lock down the 2 flyers. Prowess up here. Get in with flyers. Could I bash in for more? Well, he's got the Salt Road Patrol, which I could have tapped down, admittedly, but makes more sense to get in with these guys. All right. Draw. Embodiment's gone. Don't need that. So potentially just dead next turn. We've got the board pretty well controlled. Our ground and air fleet is pretty nice. We have Whisk Away if stuff gets hairy enough. He does have Lifelink here, but I don't think he's got a good attack. Not when we've got Whisk Away. He probably attacks with Salt Road Patrol, but like I said, I Whisk Away that, and I think he's in some trouble. And I'm pretty sure we've still got lethal on backswing. I mean, he's got to contend with 9 mana flying, and he has no air blockers currently. We'll see how he attacks, because I'm legitimately curious. Because I think the Whisk Away is going to be our ultimate ace in the hole here. All right, this is probably a Weapon Master, so my guess is we're just going to block the most profitably for us here. So let's eat that. We'll do this guy on a Weapon Master. We'll do this guy here because we're going to Whisk Away it anyway. Although maybe it's actually wiser to do... No, I think it is actually wise because he wants to... He's going to be motivated... All right, the reason I'm doing this, he's going to be super motivated to... Oh, he's not? He's got to unmorph. We're going to let him unmorph. If he doesn't unmorph, he's in some big trouble. No unmorph? All right, well, we didn't Whisk Away, but now we don't even have to, I guess. Guess I did buy him some time. But we have lethal on Crackback here, so... He blocks our biggest guy. We swing with everything. He blocks our biggest guy. Let's say he has an answer for another guy, our next biggest guy. So he would take 3, 6, 8, 11. Well, admittedly, that's not lethal. So if his last card's a kill shot, we could be in some trouble. What could he crack back on us for? 4, 7, 10? Well, he doesn't have lethal on crackback, so even if he has a kill shot, we're not dead. So I think it is worthy of crashing in with everything. He blocks our biggest guy. He takes 7, 10, 13, 15. If we Whisk Away. So even if he has a kill shot, we're not dead on backswing, especially not with the Whisk Away. All right, he had Will of the Naga as well. Very, very interested in that. All right, locks down our 2 biggest guys very sensibly. What can we get in with here? We can get in with... I think we get in with these... Well, we get in with team. He has no cards left in hand. We can Whisk Away his flock. which means there's no possible way he can get lifelink. We don't untap here. If he doesn't get lifelink, though, he still has blockers for a couple turns. This is interesting. So we can get in for 8, potentially. If I swing with everything, he blocks maybe the Abomination, likely the Abomination, unfortunately. He does get to untap with Sage. Whisk Away's... kind of a tough spot, actually. Do I want to Whisk Away his Flock to basically just eat up a draw step? But then he can just replay it. He's going to be able to untap. Tough spot, tough spot. I think I want to save my Whisk Away, so I think I'm just going to swing with the Shambling Attendants. Basically, we're going to write out this Will of the Naga and save our Whisk Away until we need it. I am a minute and a half behind now, though, so we're only in game 2. Certainly worthy of keeping in mind here. All is not lost if he draws Force Away. We still have the Whisk Away. All right. Morph. Looks like he... Well, all right. Don't get to untap just yet. Ooh, Enhanced Awareness. Well, I like that. So let's play Enhanced Awareness. Get to Prowess, draw some stuff. No cards left in our opponent's hand. Discard a land. Cannot play the Aerialist, unfortunately, but we'll get in with our Shambling Attendants and pass. And he's taking it. All right. Pass the turn. Whisk Away is still a pretty good ace in the hole. He's just got a couple Monastery Flocks, which really aren't too big of a deal. I guess they do block our Aerialist fairly well, but... So we're getting an untap step here. We're going to get our Aerialist back. All right, getting pretty aggressive here, understandably. So I think we're just going to end up Whisk Awaying his Sage. So let's just block like this. And I guess we can... I don't want to take 8 here, so could just chump with the Surveyor, which I think is okay, because I think he's just going to unmorph a Weapon Master. Oh, a Glacial Stalker. Well, it's not that bad. So we'll take 4, which is acceptable. Just want him to play another thing, and then I'll Whisk Away. Could Whisk Away the Salt Road Patrol. It's actually not that bad. It saves our Surveyor. Jeskai Charm is probably... Okay. Well, now it's kind of a different story. So he's buffing. Yeah, it's pretty bad for us, but I don't really have any luxuries here. So I guess we save our Abomination. We're going to lose everything else, which is unfortunate, but certainly not the end-all, be-all. But that was certainly a good card for him to have, admittedly. And he's gaining copious amounts of life, which is going to be tough to keep up with, admittedly. But at least he's only got a Sage on top. Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. Sultai Ascendancy, 11 cards left in the deck. Well, going to have to play Ascendancy to get the Prowess going. And I think we swing for 13 here. Then we drop our Riverwheel Aerialist. And pass. So basically, if we can survive here, I think that we're going to have a pretty good lethal swing. We know it's on top of his deck, so we know that we can survive here. Question is, can we find a way to get lethal next turn with the Sultai Ascendancy? And the answer is, I hope. All right, no plays, so let's see what's on top of our deck here. Yeah, we want to get rid of these. We are running low on cards in deck, but basically we're on hunt for actual cards that do things. So I think we just go ahead and swing with the Shambling Attendants. No Outlast on the Salt Road Patrol, which is pretty interesting. All right, ditch that, keep the Abomination. Do have to make some more rapid choices here. Although if our opponent at least evens us up on the clock, we've got a better shot. But I got to certainly have to start making some quick decisions. It is coming down to a time issue, since this is only game 2. We're at least ahead on time now, so if I can get to a healthy time point here, I'm feeling comfortable. So now I think we just morph Abomination and pass. So opponent has 3 air blockers. All right, concession. Not sure why he conceded. I think that was kind of a... He didn't have to concede there. He really didn't. I mean, I'm happy he did because we got the victory, but he really didn't. He could have at least, fooled us into believing we had some sort of thing that would gain him life on defense. But yeah, happy to get a victory there. It was a very hard-fought victory and very close on both sides. So happy to get the win. Sultai Ascendancy, why is this card always so lackluster for me? I want it to be so much better. But, I mean, it increased our card quality, I guess, to a certain extent. All right, we'll see you in the finals.